Is AI going to take over everything for us? If you're anything like me, you've probably been hearing about AI, artificial intelligence, taking over all sorts of everyday tasks, from answering customer service questions to diagnosing diseases. A big news article came out about how ChatGPT passed the bar, which is interesting. And as a person who, one, works at a university, there is a lot of concern about students using AI to write their papers for them, take tests for them, stuff like that. And there's the current cheating softwares can't detect it. And two, I'm a writer. I'm in a creative field. Could AI take over my job? I don't know. Well, those answers may be yet to come. I wanted to answer one question today that I thought of. Could AI budget for me? Hey, I'm Sarah Wilson, also known as Budget Girl here on the internet, and I have been tracking my journey out of debt and then on to personal wealth building for the past 9 years on YouTube. And I'm wondering if using AI could have saved me hours and maybe even months of hard work and time by developing a better budgeting plan for me than I could have come up with myself. I'm fairly new to AI, but I do understand that the more information that you give it, the better it will be able to generate answers for you. And I also understand that AI is basically just accumulating information from all over the internet and feeding it to you in kind of a fun and cohesive way. So let's ask it some questions and see if it could develop a better budget for me and maybe for you guys than we could make ourselves. So I am in ChatGPT, which is probably the most popular AI generator right now. And let's start with a pretty simple question. How do I budget? All right, so it's saying creating a budget is an important step in managing your finances and ensuring that you live within your means. Here's some steps to get you started. 1, determine your income. 2, calculate your expenses. 3, categorize your expenses. 4, set your priorities. 5, determine your budget. 6, stick to your budget. And remember, budgeting is a skill that takes practice. Don't be discouraged if you don't get it right the first time. Keep track of your spending and adjust your budget as needed to help you achieve your financial goals. Now, there are a lot of faces and voices in the personal finance space, but no one from Dave Ramsey to Kamiko the Budget Mom to Graham Stephan, to me, is really going to tell you different than this. Like, the order of things might be slightly different. The way that they budget might be slightly different, but the basics are the same. Every single personal finance person is ideally, if they're not a scammer, preaching you these exact steps. So figure out where your money is coming from, where it's going, make some priorities, and then determine what you want to spend on different things, adjust, and stick to the budget that you set. This is good advice, and I'm actually pretty impressed with how cogently it sets it up to deliver it to you. It's kind of like talking with a person. If you could just like chat me and be like, how do I budget? I would probably give you some version of this. So let's ask it something a little bit more specific. Let's ask it, how should I budget my $51,000 income? Here's an example of how you can budget a $51,000 income. 1, determine your monthly take-home pay. Assuming you're paid monthly, your take-home pay will be approximately $3,660 after taxes and other deductions. That is very close. 2, categorize your expenses. Next, categorize your expenses into fixed and variable expenses. Fixed expenses might include rent and mortgage, car payments, insurance, and utilities. Variables might include groceries, entertainment, clothing. Once again, something that me and every other personal finance content creator teaches. Allocate your income based on your expenses. Allocate your income into each category. For example, fixed expenses, $1,500, including the things we mentioned. Variable expenses, $1,000. Savings. Aim for at least 10 to 20% of your income for emergency fund and retirement. That is excellent advice, chatbot. $600. Debt repayment, $300. If you have any debt or loans, make paying them off a priority. They're even doing the pay yourself first method here, which I agree with. And then miscellaneous. It's always so important to have a miscellaneous category, $260. This includes things like personal care gifts and other small expenses. Stick to your budget. Monitor your spending each month and make adjustments as necessary. If you find that you're constantly overspending in a certain category, look for ways to reduce your spending. The same advice anybody would give you. So it's correct, if not super personalized. Now it does say, remember, this is just an example, and your budget will depend on your individual circumstances and financial goals. The key is to create a budget that works for you and stick to it as closely as possible. I actually find this pretty encouraging. A lot of people find budgeting extremely intimidating and it's hard to put it down, but this lays it out in a way that is extremely concise and easy. Now, I'm not giving it that much credit because this could have been taken from my website or Dave Ramsey's website or anybody's website that has like a basics of budgeting thing, but I'm pretty impressed. Let's ask it for more specific category stuff. So how about I have a $51,000 income and no debt. How much should I spend on food? So as a general rule of thumb, you should aim to spend no more than 10 to 15% of your income on food. For $51,000 income, this would amount to $425 to $623 per month on food. However, that is just a general guideline. Your individual circumstances may vary depending on factors such as where you live, personal preferences, and other expenses. If you're looking to create a more detailed budget for food expenses, start by tracking your current spending on food for a few weeks. This is a tip I give all the time because I say, if you shouldn't start from zero with your budget and say, if you're currently spending $600 a month on food, you shouldn't try to automatically go down to $200 a month. You need to know where you're coming from to make adjustments that are reasonable. So this will help you get a better idea of how much you typically spend on groceries and dining out. From there, you can determine how much to realistically allocate to food expenses while still meeting your other financial goals. Remember to be realistic and honest with yourself about your spending habits and priorities. Is it super vain of me to think that some of this content could have come straight from budgetgirl.com? By the way, you can check out budgetgirl.com. There are a ton of free resources and stuff for you guys to help you manage your money and build the life of your dreams on less. This is great. This is great. You don't need a YouTuber like me. You just apparently need ChatGPT. Let's ask some more questions, but you should subscribe. Let's ask it, can you make me a budget with how much I should spend on each major category? Certainly. Here's a sample budget for a $51,000 income. That's good to know. You don't have to keep repeating the same information in the same thread. It'll remember it. All right, 30% of income for housing, so $15,300 per year or $1,275 per month. It does not know that I house hack and make $140 a month off of my housing because I own a duplex and I rent out the other side. You can go see a video on that here. This includes rent or mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. Good to include those. 15% of my income for transportation, $637.50 per month. This includes car payments, gas, insurance, maintenance, and public transportation costs. It does not know that I own my car and that I buy salvage cars for cash, which save an absolute ton of money. I have an article on that on budgetgirl.com and I will link that below. Food, 10 to 15% of your income. Once again, the $425 to $637 per month, including groceries and dining out. Now in my personal budget, I split groceries and dining out. For dining out, it's kind of my entertainment and eating out category. Health and wellness, 5% of your income, $212.50 per month. This includes health insurance premium, medical expenses, gym memberships, and other wellness related expenses. My insurance is covered through my work. I do not have a gym membership, but that would include like any prescriptions or anything like that. I just kind of have that under miscellaneous since it's not a big category in my budget, but an excellent thing to consider if you're building your budget. Savings and investments, 20% of your income or $850 a month. Absolutely do that. It's so important to save, or else on months where your big expenses come up and it wipes everything out, you're not going to have anything to deal with that emergency with, and you're going to have to go into more debt. Personal expenses, $425 per month, including personal care items, clothing, entertainment, and hobbies. And then miscellaneous expenses, $212.50 per month, gifts, travel, other miscellaneous expenses. Remember, these are just general guidelines and your individual budget may vary based on your specific circumstances and financial goals. I like how it does the qualifications here because it doesn't know all of those things about me because I haven't told it yet. How long would I have to spend telling it all of my personal things for it to make a budget? Oh, now I kind of want to do that. We're not going to do that. Let's give it a test budget and then see what recommendations it has. So this is not my budget. All right, so if I give it a concept budget, let's see what it says. Based on the expenses you provided, it appears that your total monthly expenses are $2,295, leaving you with $998 in disposable income each month. Here's an example budget based on your expenses. It is kind of trying to transform a little bit, duplicating my budget. Oh, okay, combine my transportation expenses. Saying it's always a good idea to track your expenses regularly to make sure you're staying on track and adjust your budget as necessary. Okay, so it just duplicated my expense.
Hey friends, so a portion of today's video is sponsored by Aura.
I may not trust AI to budget for me, but I do trust Aura to keep my information safe online. Aura information is unfortunately out there. It's not that hard to find people's full legal names, addresses, phone numbers, relatives' names. This information gets sold constantly by data brokers to shady sources like robocallers, spammers, and telemarketers who would love to trick you out of your money. Aura identifies data brokers who are selling your information and submits opt-out requests on your behalf. They get you off of junk mail and telemarketing lists and monitor your information like your passwords to see if they were exposed in data breaches, which happen more and more these days. I like having a little bit more peace of mind knowing that Aura is working in the background to keep my data safe. And I especially appreciate that they will keep my passwords on hand for me because I cannot keep up with them. Not having to worry about my password security and knowing that Aura will let me know if one of my accounts have been compromised is one less thing to worry about online. Aura's app also features a VPN, real-time credit monitoring, which I'm a big fan of, identity theft monitoring because nobody needs that kind of hassle in their life, internet parental controls, and protects your devices from malware. It's every internet safety feature you can think of or will ever need, all wrapped into one little package. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online, and if you sign up using my link below right now, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial. It's also linked in the description, or you can scan this fun QR code. Trust Aura to keep me safe online so that I can worry about everything else that's going on. Let's ask it, how can I save money based on that budget? Looks like it's just going for the generic response here. Create a budget, track your expenses, cut back on unnecessary expenses, save automatically, use coupons and discount codes, buy used items, look for ways to learn extra income, save on utilities. Saving money is a habit, takes time and effort to develop. Start small, set achievable goals, and be consistent in your efforts. Over time, your savings will grow, and you'll be on your way to achieving your financial goals. Okay, so this is very encouraging. But once again, this is the exact same type of advice that myself and every other money creator gives. It's also pretty common sense. Maybe reading it in a list, same as watching these videos, is an accountability thing for people to encourage them to keep doing it and to try to consider other ways they can save a little bit here, make more money there. Totally understand that. And I was very big on that during my debt-free journey. I watched so many different how to save money on this and that videos, just because even if I can take away one little thing, then that kind of rhetoric is going around in my head and it's in my brain all the time, and I'm actively working to improve constantly. Just super positive, but it didn't offer me any personalized tips. So let's try, how can I save money based on my budget? Based on your budget, here are some ways to save money. You have to be very specific, apparently, with ChatGPT. Housing. Consider refinancing your mortgage to see if you could get a lower interest rate or downsize to a smaller home. Transportation. Look for ways to reduce your car insurance premiums. You could also consider using public transportation, which is not available in my area, or carpooling. Utilities. Turn off lights, thermostat, etc. Meal plan. Buy in-store products. Shopping for sale items. Look for ways to reduce your personal expenses. Look for ways to save on clothing, free or low-cost entertainment options. Once again, kind of very generic stuff. Not a negative, but I am trying to see if ChatGPT could budget better than I can, and we're not quite there yet. Can it give me ideas on how to save or make more money? Absolutely. In fact, let's do that. How can I increase my income? I guarantee it's going to say like, ask for a raise, pick up a side hustle based on your expertise and experience. Consider doing like rideshare gig work, essentially. I don't know if it's going to tell you to try to start a business. Let's see. Negotiate a raise. Oh, find a higher paying job. Yeah. Start a side hustle. We said that. Using your skills and expertise. Yes. Oh, invest in education or training to acquire new skills and qualifications to increase your income, get courses or certificates in high demand areas like technology and healthcare. Alrighty. Rent out a room or a property. If you have extra space in your home, consider renting it out. Platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo. Believe it or not, we already do that. And it does not make me money. It loses me money. See how much I made my first year on Airbnb in this video. Increasing your effort requires time and commitment. You may need to invest time, money, energy, etc. It's very encouraging. These are legitimate ideas. They are not super fast ideas, which is the problem with all make more money advice. It takes time. Just kind of skipping around some other questions I've asked it. Can you improve my budget numbers? And it says without knowing the details, even though I gave it a budget, it just says kind of the same thing. Increase your income, reduce your expenses, prioritize debt repayment, build up your emergency fund, invest for the future. I've done a couple other tests off camera. And when I asked it to like look at my budget, it was just like, you should save more. Generally, I do not think that ChatGPT or an AI can make a better budget than you can. Personal finance is very personal, and you can't rely on anyone other than yourself to make the best money decisions for you and your future. After all, AI or anybody else is not going to come along if you make a bad choice and save you. It's completely up to you and your priorities. Sometimes I have people email me and ask me to like make a budget for them. And I always say, I can build a budget alongside you. I can guide you as you do it, but no one knows your money situation better than you. No one can set your priorities for you other than you. The most important goal for you with your money might be someday to buy a house or to travel or to put your kids through college. It's going to be different for every single person out there. I am glad that ChatGPT has my back on the importance of budgeting. And I think aggregating some good tips, I didn't see any like MLMs pop up in here telling you to buy a timeshare. I do think it is trying its best to help with some very general advice, which it honestly is all that anyone can do. I try to give a lot of very personal examples of how I save money on very specific things, because I think just the more that we talk about money and how much things cost and how much we make is better for absolutely everybody. But the modus at the end of the day is on you to figure out where your money's come from and make decisions on where it's going. Because if you don't, it's just going to kind of fly away. You're not going to know where it went. I do not think that ChatGPT or any AI can essentially budget for you. It might be able to help you build an outline or compare your budget to kind of common advice areas. But if you live in like a high cost of living area, your housing costs might not be at 15%. Or perhaps you have 4 kids. So yeah, your grocery spending is going to be more. But who knows, maybe it will keep improving and eventually you'll just be able to connect it to your bank and it'll tell you how much you should spend in each category. Maybe even it'll give you like an alert on your phone when you're spending on something that you shouldn't. Actually, that's really invasive and I don't want it to do that. All right, I would love it if you let me know what you thought of this video. Do you think that AI can budget for you, or would you try it to see if it could help you save money or help you pay off your mortgage faster? Or would you use it for personal finance tips, or would you prefer to get them from somebody like me? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys next time.